Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Stunna, and we are cutting it close here at the legend stage of the IEM Katowice Major 2019. Things have really been popping off around here, and if you haven't been paying attention to today's action, you would have missed some very, very important factors, to include the fact that we have indeed sent some teams home for the first time. Our first matchup of the day was MIBR versus G2, and MIBR do come out on top, 16-12 on Inferno. We then moved on to Avangar and FaZe, where FaZe find themselves in a really, really tough position. They did take an L today on Mirage versus Avangar, but they are still trying to bounce back. The Ninjas of Pajamas, a storyline on its own, having found 16-5 success over Hellraisers on Overpass in a knockdown drag-out affair that, well, turned out to just actually be a bloodbath, brought to you by Ninjas of Pajamas. Swiss round 3 continues with teams in a 1-1 record. Vitality versus Cloud9 went the distance on Mirage. 16-14 was the scoreline, and it was one hell of a showing for some of these young players, to include Zelsis, who certainly made waves here at the Katowice Major. In the most unlikely of suspects, Renegades have somehow managed to find their way all the way on to Swiss round 3 with a 2-0 record. That's right, the boys from down under are down here getting it done in Katowice, but that run has been stopped, and for what it's worth, their adversary couldn't have been any tougher. Astralis 2-1 for the series, and that puts Astralis through to the playoffs. Complexity now looking to push the limits of what their success might be. Of course, fighting for a lifeline here, they found themselves matched up against a strong opponent, NRG, who has yet to show face here in IEM Katowice. Unfortunately, this time for NRG, Complexity take the series and will be staying alive for this Intel Extreme Masters. Swiss round 3 did indeed eliminate Big as its first victim, and they did fall short there to ends 2-1 in this series, but for what it's worth, they gave him hell and gave it all they could. Unfortunately, they will have to go back through the qualification stages. Yes, they are out of the tournament. We have, though, seen 2 teams advance now, and this is where things get very, very, very important to note. Because Liquid have qualified for the playoffs today, Astralis have qualified for the playoffs today. Now, both of these things mean that they have to be on opposite sides of the bracket. That, in my opinion, sets us up for what's going to be one fire way to the final, should both of those teams, considered 1 and 2 by some, make it all the way to that grand final at the end of the road. And that does it for the recap down here on the show floor. My name is Stunna. This has been my pleasure, actually, and more importantly, I think it's awesome for everything to have transpired the way it did. Hell of a series across the board for a lot of different teams here, and some teams trying to make a statement. We'll see some more action tomorrow, so make sure you're with us when we come back.